Okay, guys. Yes, today is my birthday, first of all. Yay, I'm 18. I wanted to do something special for today. So instead of reviewing stuff that came out today in theaters, like The Fifth Wave or The Boy or Dirty Grandpa, which I might review The Boy later, but not today, I want to review probably one of the movies that I hold closest to my heart, which I do consider this my favorite movie of all time. Um, and I want to get this uploaded before the day is done. So but I don't want to rush it. So I'm gonna try and get this as fast as necessary. Um, it is, in fact, The Iron Giant. Um, this is the first movie directed by Brad Bird in a long line of excellent films, might I add. I myself have what is this, special edition? This is a special edition of the DVD. I don't have any of the Blu-ray copies because they haven't released them yet. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Um, as far as films go, this is probably the closest I can ever get to my perfect movie, as far as the definition of a perfect movie goes. Um, the music is excellent. The animation is almost seamless. The dialogue and the character development is brilliant. And I'm not saying this as a fanboy, I'm saying this from a critic's point of view because I recently went and saw it again in my viewing room. See, because I watched this one and then last summer or last fall or autumn, the midpoint, they released it again in theaters for a limited engagement with 2 scenes added in, and I went to go see that because I am a huge, huge fan of this movie and I respect it so much. Um, in fact, so much that I actually have the Iron Giant Pop, as well as the Iron Giant Pop holding the junk car with Hogarth in it. Again, thank you, Funko Pop, for not making more in this line. I assure you they will probably make oodles of money if they released more in this line. But okay, let's start talk about the story of the movie first. It's the story of a young boy named Hogarth Hughes, who lives with his mother. His father was a soldier. They don't tell you this, but if you pay attention, it is implied. His father was a soldier, I believe a pilot, who died in war. So he lives alone with his mother, um, and he finds the giant, who is a supposed invader from another world. But he has robot amnesia, meaning that his programming, when he crashed to Earth, his programming got jumbled up. He doesn't remember why he was sent to Earth. All he remembers is that when he was in trouble, Hogarth saved him. And so throughout the movie, him and Hogarth form a bond, a friendship. And there's a scene in the film that I think encapsulates his character very much. You have feelings, so you have a soul. And you're good, so you have a soul. And this is to where the scene where him and Hogarth are talking in the junkyard. There are more characters called Dean McCoppin, and there's the mother, Annie Hughes, who are voiced by Harry Connick Jr. and Jennifer Aniston. Very well acted, by the way. The mother is caring. The mother's a likable character. He's hip. He's cool. He's also a very, very relatable and lovable character. Hogarth hides the giant at Dean's junkyard. because he is a metal eater. He eats the junkyard scraps. And during a scene, a specific scene, because if you haven't watched this movie, you should immediately. They talk about the concept of a soul. And Hogarth says, "My mom says a soul is a thing that lives within all good things." And this is an entirely mysterious concept to the giant because he is in fact a robot. But he's a thinking robot. He's sentient. He is self-aware. He knows that he's like a child almost in his robot mind. So he doesn't know what a soul is. So Hogarth basically tells him, well, you're good, and you think and you care and you have feelings, so you have a soul. And this is after they walk in the woods and they find a dead deer, and he has to explain to Hogarth has to explain to the giant the concept of death. And that's also part of the soul scene in the junkyard, where he says, souls don't die. It's bad to kill, but your body will die. Your souls don't die. And I think that's a very good message, because this is in fact a kids' movie. It's a great kind of unbiased standpoint on the concept of death, and it's a great way to introduce your kids to a very dark subject matter that is death and passing and loved ones dying and everything that implies within that subject matter. And then there's another subject matter that is dealt with in the film, which is killing and guns. And he says, it's bad to kill. You don't have to kill. You don't have to be a gun. Which they deal with, you are who you choose to be. You are who you choose to be. You choose to be good, or you choose to be bad, or in this case, you choose to be a gun. And near the end, because there's another character called Kent Mansley. He is kind of the antagonist. Well, he is very clearly the antagonist, because he does everything in his power to destroy the giant, to the point where he literally calls in an atomic bomb strike from a submarine off the shore of where Hogarth and Annie and Dean and the giant are at, which is in Maine. And basically, he is in this movie, basically the embodiment of government fear. The fear of the unknown, basically, that the government has, or had in that time, because this movie is set in Cold War era. So, spoiler alert, the giant stops the missile, the nuke, by basically colliding with it. And the movie ends by showing you he chooses to be good because he wants to have a soul. He wants to be good. And there's this cool segment near the beginning. I'm jumping back and forth. I'm sorry about that, but there's a scene where Hogarth reads him a bedtime story, and he shows him basically the parallels. There's Atomo, the metal menace, And then there's Superman. And the giant's last word is Superman because he wants to be good. He wants to be Superman. And in that sense that's a really great message for kids. You can be Superman. You can be a good person. But you choose to be a good person. This is your choice. And as far as other aspects of the film goes, I love the music so much that I actually got a vinyl print of it, which is lovely. This was from Mondo, but I bought it from Amazon, from mondotees.com. This is the front art, and this is the back art is a picture of him interacting with the deer, and oh, isn't that lovely? That is delightful. And this is him and Hogarth playing with the junk car in the junkyard. And the vinyls themselves, they're nice black records. On one of them they have the giant's head, and the other one has the bolt, the last remaining piece, as it were. The animation is great. I love traditional 2D animation in movies, especially since that it's very rare in animated films nowadays. This was actually a bomb when it first came out because Warner Brothers botched the marketing and the advertisements for this film. They put out the trailer. It made it seem like a very cut and dry, straight to DVD kid flick, when this movie is so much more. The amount of heart that is in this movie is staggering. And I respect Brad Bird so much, considering that this is his first film. So as far as merchandising goes, it's become kind of like a cult classic, to where it wasn't very much well known until recent years, because mind you, this movie came out in 1999. Slipknot started making music in 1999. This movie's as old as Slipknot, guys. And one started being more popular than the other, as far as like media goes, music, movies. Well, I don't know why I'm comparing this, but it's a nice comparison to show you how old this movie is. I don't know what else to say. I do highly recommend this movie. If you need a movie to watch this month, or basically any time, and there's nothing good out or nothing that interests you, I highly recommend renting this movie from Amazon. They actually have the signature edition for digital rent and sale, which is the limited extended cut that came out in theaters last September that I went to go see, which I am not going to talk about that because I believe that if you are a fan of this movie, I don't want to spoil it for you. And if you don't know what this movie is, again, I don't want to spoil it for you, because this movie is worth seeing for yourself. And I know I basically spoiled the ending for you, but I didn't spoil the final scene. The giant colliding with the missile was not the final scene, I will say that. And I've been watching this movie since I was like 4, dude, guys. Oh my god. Because this is the first movie that I watched that actually got me into wanting to make movies, wanting to be a filmmaker. wanting to write, because I wanted to make something with as much heart and as much effort and as much love as this movie. So as far as films, as far as animation, as far as kids movies, as far as adult movies, I highly recommend this film. This is probably the film that I will recommend any time that you need something to watch. And my siblings will tell you I kind of have an unhealthy obsession with this movie. I am a fanboy of this movie, but I watched it recently again, and I watched it with the eyes of a critic, not of a fanboy. And still, there were so few flaws. The only flaw that I saw, and this is very much a nitpick, because this is very subjective, is that they do say guns kill instead of guns are a tool that bad people use to kill. But that's just a nitpick. I don't want to get into that. That's a very kind of a political standpoint. And I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into politics with my movies, especially with this one. So, if you can, and if you're a parent, this is a great movie to show your children, because it deals with mature content in a way that kids can understand. And adults, you will cry, because I do every freaking time. Quick note though, to Funko. Make more of these, please. I request a War Mode giant and a Superman giant, which is basically going to be a giant variant with the Junkyard S on his chest. I want more of these. I will literally be the first one to order this if these come out. I want a Kent Mansley pop. I want a Hogarth Hughes pop. I want an Annie Hughes pop. I want a Dean McCoppin pop. I want a Pop Rides. The little, pop cars that they have. I want the Junkyard car with Hogarth in it. I want a Hogarth variant that they put in there where he has the helmet. Make more of these! I beg of you! And also, a note to Mondo Tees. Why is it that every time I go on your site and I want to buy the deluxe figure for the giant, it's always sold out? Make them faster. I know I'm kind of being a dick here, but I want to give you my money. I want to pay you the $315 that this figure costs. I want to pay you the $65 that the Bolt replica costs, which I will be buying semi-soon, as soon as I get the money. Sorry, I just had to get that out. Oh, Warner Brothers. Again, sorry. Tell us when the Blu-ray for the Signature Edition will come out. I want a steelbook. I want a special edition where you have 2 discs. The theatrical and the signature. I will buy everything you put out as long as you do it in a timely fashion. Sorry, that's just the fanboy in me coming out. I apologize. But parents, show this movie to your kids. Kids, show this movie to your parents. Cry, laugh, enjoy the only word that I can find is masterpiece. That is The Iron Giant. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm sorry this was probably really long. Bye.